Oakland are choosing a new mayor. The three frontrunners are former State Senate President Pro Tem Don Perata and Councilwomen Rebecca Kaplan and Jean Quan. Perata has a plurality of the votes, but with ranked choice voting there, the winner needs 51% to claim outright victory tonight. We have team coverage on this race. KTVU's Amber Lee is in Oakland with Quan, who trails Perata. But we begin right now with John Sasaki. He joins us live in Oakland with Perata's supporters. John?
Julie, right now we are on Broadway at Z Cafe. This is the headquarters for all the people supporting Don Perata. The party's kind of starting to wrap up, I think partly because Don Perata himself is suffering from a pretty major case of laryngitis he's been dealing with since last week. But the candidate himself joins us now. And Don, go ahead and tell me, right now you're ahead in the polls, 38-25 or so. The website over there at the Registrar of Voters has crashed, apparently, so we don't know maybe what the latest numbers are, but still, you have a pretty sizable lead. But some observers have said, why is it that you aren't taking this outright? Why is it probably going to end up going to ranked choice voting, do you think?
It's a good question. I don't understand how ranked choice voting works, but there are 10 people in the field and 3-4 very substantial candidates, so it's not surprising to me. We've been told that if you have a substantial lead coming out of the election day, it holds up. But this is not a science. And the fact that the registrar's site crashed is not a good omen.
Fair enough. Now, also, this is a year, of course, we've just had horrible financial news here in the city of Oakland. You signed up for a job here. You're hoping to get this job. Real tough job. This year, we laid off 80 police officers in the city of Oakland. There's a possibility if BB doesn't pass, there could be another 100 being laid off. And everything I've heard through covering the city of Oakland for as long as I have is that what's happened this year is only going to get worse in successive years. What do you plan to do to make this better for the people of Oakland?
Well, my commitment is to bring those 80 officers back, the 80 positions. The fact is we're going to have to reprioritize what we do at City Hall. There's hundreds of millions of dollars there that we just have to decide, are these as high a priority as public safety, filling a pothole, the things that people expect, the things that make Oakland, Oakland. And our public employee unions are going to have to sit down with me and talk about how we're going to fix this together. But there's been too much divide and conquer, too much blame, too much no-show, too much irresponsibility. That's all going to come to an end.
Okay, Don Perata, former state senator here. A lot of supporters here. I think he's going to go home and maybe get some tea or something to soothe that throat. Live in San Francisco, or live in Oakland, I'm John Sasaki, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, John. We turn now to KTVU's Amber Lee, who also is live in Oakland. She's with Jean Quan and her supporters. Amber.
I'm at the Longshoremen's Hall here in Oakland where mayoral candidate Jean Quan is holding her election night party. Here with me is the candidate herself. Jean, what are your thoughts about trailing Don Perata most of the night? I know not all the returns are in, but what are your feelings about that?
Well, you know, we weren't surprised that the early absentees would be in Perata's favor. You may remember that he reached the spending limit by July. That is, he spent a lot more money earlier in the campaign, and the rest of us didn't spend much money until the end. So that gave him a tremendous advantage with the early absentees. But I think what we need to see is where we're at the end of the first round. We think the gap will close somewhat. And with rank order voting, I believe if I'm within 3 to 5 points, now we're about 8 points. If I'm within 3 or 5 points, the ranked order voting may still give us the victory.
So you're thinking the people who are voting for Rebecca Kaplan and Joe Toomey and some others will have you in their choice?
I think that they're clearly sort of coalesced in anybody but Perata coalition among the voters, and they rank the three of us in different ways. I obviously am in top, but we'll see as the night goes on where we end up on the first round, and then I suspect that we're going to round 2, and that won't happen till tomorrow.
Given the financial problem Oakland has, laying off so many police officers, you know how bad of a shape Oakland is in terms of finances. Why do you want to take on the job of mayor?
Well, first of all, it looks like BB is winning. So the number of police officers that might have to be laid off is a lot less than we'd expected. The marijuana initiative passed. So I'm actually hoping that we'll have very limited police layoffs. And I think the police, particularly if I win, the union is going to have to pay its fair share of the pension. There's going to be pension reform, and that should save more jobs.
Thanks, Jean.
Thank you very much.
That was Jean Kwan, Oakland's vice mayor running for Oakland mayor. She's optimistic, even though she's been trailing. She says the ranked choice voting will probably help her in this case. Reporting live here at Oakland's Longshoremen's Union Hall, Amber Lee, KTVU Channel 2 News.